Hey, it's me, your friend Pat. You probably have heard of last year's Zelda Breath of the Wild. But what if that open world game just hasn't called to you in that extra special way? Well, this is Too Long Didn't Play, where we play the game so you don't have to. In the beginning, Link is awakened from his deep slumber by a mysterious woman's voice. He climbs out of his vat of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle mutagen ooze and immediately finds the Sheikah Slate, which is basically just a magical iPhone. Link's eye slate can manipulate metal, create bombs, freeze things in time, take scandalous photos, and make humiliating autocorrect errors when you're texting your crush. So Link ventures into the wild out of his cave and encounters a mysterious bearded man. Seriously, there's like an entire shading engine devoted to this man's beard. Dark secrets live in that beard. Link, guided by the mysterious voice from earlier, activates the Sheikah Tower on the plateau, causing towers and shrines to come up all across Hyrule. An ancient power has been awakened. The mysterious bearded fellow from before flies over on a kite. He tells Link he'll give him his fancy kite if he downloads the iOS 6.9 updates for his Sheikah Eye Slate by clearing the challenges in each of the shrines. It's a really smooth tutorial transition. It's the best one I've ever seen. Link agrees, and once his eye slate is suitably updated with mystical power and Triforce emojis, he goes to the now ruined Temple of Time, where the bearded fellow from before reveals his true identity, shocking no one, as the deceased former King of Hyrule. He didn't want to show his true form earlier and overwhelm Link, since memory loss is apparently a side effect of his raspberry blue jello healing bath, and Link's brain is a little soft right now. Must have been jarring to be woken up by a weird disembodied voice, but makes more sense than a talking boat. The king very gently tells Link that everyone is dead. Well, not everyone, just all of Link's loved ones and friends, except for Zelda, who's locked in an eternal battle with his greatest enemy in an evil castle. 100 years ago, it was prophesied that Calamity Ganon would be resurrected. In their search for the site of Calamity Ganon's resurrection, Hylians found Zoids, gigantic weapons created by the ancient Sheikah tribe. 4 champions were chosen to pilot the Zoids from across Hyrule to assist Princess Zelda and her appointed knight, that's Link, in defeating and resealing Calamity Ganon. Unfortunately, Calamity Ganon had a library card, and he knew about the prophecy. He possessed the Guardians and the Zoids, and killed all of the champions and mortally wounded Link. Zelda, left to face Ganon alone, has been trapped with him in the world's worst slumber party for 100 years, and awaits Link's help to defeat the evil once and for all. Link can explore this open world in any order he desires, so we're just gonna tell it how we played. As Link travels from place to place, certain spots trigger these memories and a cutscene. He remembers that he joined Princess Zelda on her pilgrimage to the Goddess's Springs, where she diligently prayed in an attempt to unlock her sacred power. Unfortunately, when Zelda visited the last spring, essentially her last shot to unlock her sacred power, she wasn't able to tap into them. To make matters worse, Calamity Ganon, ever the opportunist, attacked right at that moment. It wasn't until the kingdom was burning and all of the champions had been brutally killed that Zelda unlocks her powers through love? No, really. But in the moment Link was about to be killed by a rogue guardian, Zelda stepped in and exorcised Ganon's power from the automatons. Well, better late than before everyone tragically dies. Back in the present, Link travels to Zora's domain. He meets Prince Sidon, a shark boy who's relentlessly friendly and kind of a babe. Who's writing the slash fic? Anyone? Leave it in the comments. I'll read it later. Shark Boyfriend lets you know that the Elephant Zoid is completely freaking out and spewing water everywhere. The reservoir dam could break as a result and destroy Zora's domain, which is like made of rocks, like small rocks, I don't know, and possibly all of Hyrule. Link agrees to help despite the fact that there are several elderly fish dudes who are not happy with the Hylians for having let their champion Mipha die. Eventually, Link stares at the statue of Mipha and his memories come flooding back. Link and Mipha were close childhood friends. She promised to protect Link and said that she hoped they could spend some time together after everything was over. It turns out Mipha made Link a set of Zora armor, which basically means she was about to wife him up. Using a series of arrows and TN98 waterfall, Shark Boyfriend and Link sedate the Zoid so Link can go aboard. Once aboard, Link activates the Zoid's control terminals guided by the spirit of Mipha. He's attacked by the beast that killed her 100 years ago, Waterblight Ganon. After he defeats it, Mipha's spirit is free, and they awkwardly do not talk at all about the whole engagement armor thing or Mipha's feelings. Ouch. Well, at least her spirit is free and single. Very single. She aims Elephant Zoid's gigantic red laser at Hyrule Castle and prepares to strike Calamity Ganon. Link then ventures up the friendly-sounding Death Mountain and encounters Goron City, where everyone rolls around on the ground and calls each other brother. Basically, every Goron is Hulk Hogan. Brother. A salamander-looking Zoid is spewing a bunch of flame rocks and interrupting a very important mining operation. Not super ideal. Link meets up with Goron boss Bluto, which you can evolve from Baldur if you trade a... Nope, that's the wrong game. Bluto normally calms the Salamander Zoid by firing himself at it with a cannon. With a cannon? But his tweaked back is bothering him a bit, and he doesn't feel like doing it. Bluto ends up sending the sheepish young Goron Yunobo, a descendant of the deceased champion Daruk, to do the deed instead. After Link uses a giant slingshot to shoot Yunobo at the salamander a few times, it retreats back into the volcano. Link immediately jumps in after him because, I don't know, it looked cool. And it did look cool. Link ventures through the spoopy dark passages and activates all the terminals to fight Fireblight Ganon, who unsurprisingly throws fire at Link. Link frees Daruk's spirit, gets his magical power of protection, and they talk about how great rocks are. Daruk aims Salamander Zoid's laser beam to prepare to shoot Ganon, adding his to Miva's. Next, Link crosses the desert and sees a rampaging camel-shaped Zoid, with sandstorms and lightning and scariness. He gets to Gerudo Town, which is populated by an intimidating race of warrior women with sick abs who don't allow men into their city because they have cooties. Link, ever resourceful, and having had all the requisite cootie shots, dresses in Gerudo women's clothing, covers his pretty face, and immediately gets entry into the city. Link, still in drag and totally making it work, approaches Riju, the young Gerudo chief. Link says he can stop the Zoid, but because that would be way too easy for the Hylian champion, and there's still plenty of time for a fetch quest, Riju asked him instead to infiltrate the nefarious Yiga hideout. Yiga have stolen the Thunder Helm from the Gerudo, and it's kind of important, and they need it back. Link sneaks his way through the hideout and fights Master Koga, who's leader of the Yiga and master of Beer Belly Ninjutsu. Link defeats him with his big balls and reclaims the helm. He returns the magical artifact and, upon seeing Riju wear it, remembers the Gerudo champion Urbosa, whose 8-pack is matched only by the power of her luxurious red hair and genuine kindness. Link and Riju approach the Zoid on sand seals with the protection of the Thunder Helm, and Link boards it after shooting its dumb, stupid, idiot baby feet out of commission. This part sucks. This sucks, and I hate it. Link activates the terminals and defeats Thunderblight Ganon, freeing Urbosa and getting him some sick thunder powers. Urbosa, clearly sensing Link's crushing guilt, tells him in that special old-timey way she talks, "No one need carry blame," and aims the camel beam at Hyrule Castle. Last, but very possibly least, Link travels to the Rito village where the final bird-shaped Zoid is terrorizing the skies and playing a very one-sided game of duck hunt with the nearby population. Upon reaching Rivali's landing, Link remembers the Rito champion Rivali, who basically just makes fun of Link for not being able to fly, despite Link obviously not being a big bird man. Whatever. Link sets out to help the Rito warrior Teba, who is preparing to fly back up to take on the Zoid alone. This is a terrible idea. So naturally Link joins in. Teba and Link take to the sky, where Teba acts as a decoy for Link, which, let's be real, is not at all safer than Teba's original plan. He enters and activates the control terminals to be attacked by Windblight Ganon. After defeating it, Link frees Rivali's spirit, who is still super backhanded and passive-aggressive even as he's thanking Link. What a f***ing asshole. Gratuitous bird jokes ensue, and Rivali reluctantly passes his power of wind onto Link and aims the Bird Zoid's bird beak at Calamity Ganon. Okay. So to recap, Link wakes up in a pile of goo with most of his memories missing. He follows a disembodied, vaguely British-sounding voice to the plateau where he activates a whole bunch of ancient technology and learns that he's been asleep for 100 years. Flashback, 100 years ago, 4 pilots join forces to pilot the Zoids, aiding Link in his quest to defeat Ganon. But twist, everyone f***ing dies. Ganon takes the Zoids, and Link is gravely wounded. Flash forward to the present, Link sets out on a quest to reclaim the Zoids. He goes to Zora's domain, which is basically just the sexy fishman island of Hyrule. He has a quick tit-a-tat with his dead, not-girlfriend Mipha, and reclaims the Elephant Zoid. From there, he goes on to Goron City, where he uses a giant slingshot to fire Hulk Hogan at the Salamander Zoid. He reminisces about how much the Goron champion Daruk loved rocks. Spoiler alert. So much. From there, Link has to dress like a woman to infiltrate Gerudo Town. He retakes the Thunder Helm, looks great doing it, and reclaims the Camel Zoid. But Link's work is never done, so he finally goes to the Rito village, gets negged by Rito champion Rivali, and retakes the Bird Zoid. Something's missing. Oh yeah, the damn Master Sword. Link treks to the Lost Woods where he braves a treacherous and genuinely confusing path to the Korok Forest. There rests the Master Sword, which Zelda returned there for safekeeping 100 years earlier. Isn't she so great? Like, everything is just so organized when she's around. Armed with the Master Sword and his restored memories, Link makes for Hyrule Castle, which is rife with extremely powerful, evil, purple corruption goo. He makes his way to the top, at which point the champion Zoids all form Voltron and shoot the shit out of Ganon, who turns into a gigantic Spider Wolverine Buzzsaw Lion. thing. Link defeats Ganon and drives him to anamorph into the gigantic boar beast we all know and hate and secretly love. And Zelda lends Link her power in the form of light arrows in a twist that would shock even M. Night Shyamalan, which Link uses to strike the finishing blow. Zelda approaches the defeated Calamity Ganon and banishes him to the Phantom Zone? The home for infinite losers? The Shadow Realm? One of those. Zelda, relieved and somehow not ready to faint and or die after 100 years of fighting Ganon alone in a spooky haunted house, asks Link if he really remembers her. If Link has collected all of his memories throughout Hyrule, and I know you did because you're a good player, the game will end on a touching scene of Link and Zelda discussing the rebuilding of the kingdom. Zelda tells Link that she can no longer hear the voice inside the Master Sword and wonders if her powers have faded. But she's okay with that. Growth, character development, story arcs, woo! And the people of Hyrule lived happily ever after, until Ganon eventually comes back because they're doomed to repeat this for all of eternity. This has been Too Long Didn't Play. Thanks for watching. Did you like what you see? Would you like to see more? Leave us a comment below and let us know. I'm your friend Pat with the Leaderboard. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell in the corner to become a member of the notification squad, and stay tuned to the Leaderboard, your home for video game facts.
Bye! You definitely did that.
The crowd goes wild.
I'm gonna cut.